You're talking with a girl on Tinder, you get her number, and you're setting up the date. The date comes, you guys go out, you have an okay time, she doesn't go home with you, and then she doesn't text you back. What the hell went wrong? What went wrong is your first date sucked. Your first date didn't excite her. Your first date put too much pressure on her. Your first date didn't have an exit plan. And your first date didn't let you guys actually get a chance to know each other. That's what went wrong. And in this video today, I'm gonna show you the 4 common mistakes that guys make when they're setting up their first date so you can avoid them and have first dates that actually get her excited and hopefully get her home with you that very same night. Now, I find that really bad dates have one of these 4 points and sometimes have 2 or 3 or even all 4 of them. They put too much pressure on the girl, they require too much of a time investment, they don't have a way to escape, and they're either too fun or not fun enough, and we'll get to that last one at the end of the video. But I found also that when you have all of those put together, when you have a date that does all of that, which most dates are, dinner and a movie point in case, it's sort of like a public restroom where you take the worst of everything that's been there in the day and swirl it all into one room that you can't really get out of. That's kind of what a bad first date is, and most likely that's the kind of first dates that you have been going on, but now you're not gonna go on those dates anymore. So mistake number 1 is putting too much pressure on the girl, and I see this all of the time. You might go out with a girl and decide, hey, dinner sounds really good. I know a great restaurant, Italian place nearby, really great ambiance. You guys go there and all of a sudden the bill comes and it's kind of expensive, and you know what, you're a gentleman, so you're going to cover her meal. That sounds really great until you think of the fact of what she is thinking, and that is, hey, this guy now expects something from me. He spent money, so he expects a second date. He expects maybe even sex. You're just trying to get to know her as a person and you don't want other factors coming in and getting distracting. Well, by you spending money, that's what you've just done. Now, don't get me wrong, if you're going out with her and you're getting coffee or ice cream or something like that, and you're only spending $5, it's not a problem. But once you get above $5, $10, it starts getting in the range where she's gonna start feeling awkward. Now, mistake number 2 is it requires too much investment. Let's say in this scenario that you and the girl have been talking on Tinder and you guys both like the same band, you like the same music, something like that. The concert is gonna take her an hour to get ready, an hour to get there and get back, an hour landing in line for the will call tickets, and then the actual show is gonna be 2 or 3 hours. So already she's thinking that this is gonna be a 6-hour time commitment. As you as a man, that might actually sound pretty great. You're gonna get 6 hours with this girl who's really attractive. But in reality, that's not how it's gonna work for you, and it's definitely not how it's gonna work for her. Here's why. She's gonna be worrying about the fact that she's spending 6 hours with a complete stranger. That is really uncomfortable. And for you, it's the same way. What happens if she arrives, it turns out she's not what her photos look like, or she has a really bad personality? These are all things that happen when you meet someone for the first time out of Tinder or OkCupid or online dating. So you need to avoid that. And the way that you avoid that is making sure that your dates don't require big time investments. Take it to be 30 minutes or an hour, but once you start going above that, you're putting yourself and her in a weird situation. Mistake number 3, no exit plan. By the way, don't bring her to a giant field for your first. Actually, this could work for a picnic. Is you want to make your date low-key enough that when you've had your fill or she's had her fill, you guys can part ways and you're not stuck in a spot in a way that it would be really socially awkward for you or her to leave, as opposed to, let's say, not original, but meeting at a coffee shop, getting a coffee, drinking, maybe walking around a little bit and saying, hey, look at the time, I need to bounce. If a girl is thinking to herself before she even meets you, ugh, what if I can't get away? Then it's gonna hurt your chances that she shows up to the date to begin with. Now, originally when I was putting together this video, I was gonna buy like a baseball bat and a baseball and hit it and make it kind of cool, but there's no way I would ever hit a baseball. I'm just terrible at sports. But with that said, this is a curveball. This is mistake number 4, and it's hard to conceptualize, at least at first. So that's, you don't wanna make your date too fun or not fun enough. Maybe this even happened to you in the past, but have you ever gone on a date with a girl and you go to a place that's just too crazy and there's dancing and all that kind of stuff, and she ends up dancing and talking with another guy? It's like, what the hell? You came out on a date with me and now you're with other people. In fact, I was just in Japan recently, and while I was there, I met a couple, a girl and this guy that she was with, and it was a Tinder date, first Tinder date. Now, they went out to a bar together. I met them. Other people at the bar met them, and by the end of the night, the girl that was there with that guy, she was with a different dude, an American. He lost out. He lost out on a beautiful, gorgeous blonde girl simply because he decided to make the first date somewhere that was too distracting. That's if it's too distracting, but you can also have it not fun enough. And well, let's go back to that restaurant analogy. Go to the restaurant, all of a sudden you're sitting there staring at each other. There's no external stimuli in the background. There's no one talking. There's nothing happening. You can't comment on it. When there's a silence, it's just kind of awkward because you're just kind of like staring at each other while you're eating. So you make things way more hard for yourself. You have to work 10 times as hard. So you don't want your date to be too distracting or not distracting enough, because then you're putting yourself in a really hard position where she's not going to have the time and ability to get to know who you are as a person, or you get stuck. All right, so at this point in the video, you know exactly what the 4 most common mistakes are. I'm sure that you've made a few of those errors in the past, just like I have, and now you're going to avoid them. Again, just to recap, the first one is making it too high pressure. Second is too high investment. Third is not having an exit strategy. And fourth is making it either too much fun or not fun enough. So avoid all those things. Now, if you're wondering what some really good date ideas are instead of what aren't, I have a blog post below on the Zerby blog where we list out 7 first date ideas that are actually interesting, actually fun, and will maximize the chances that she gets to know you and you guys go back to your place or her place that night. So all you got to do is click below, go to that blog post, check it out. I'm not trying to sell you anything. You can just get the information. You don't have to put in your email. Just go check it out and have better dates. Please have better dates, guys. All right, on that note, I'm Mark from Zerby. I'm really happy you guys watched this. If you liked it, please give it a like, and most importantly, hit subscribe for more content like this in the future, and I'll see you guys soon.